You guys, that was one hell of a Pisces season. I don't know about you, but I literally got my ass handed to me this last month. Like, holy shit. If you're new here, my name is Tawny Michelle, and we are not all love, light, twin flames, and unicorns over here on this channel, so please keep that in mind. And yeah, welcome to Aries season. Welcome to the April All Signs video. This video is for you no matter what sign you are. Within this video, we go over the collective energy and the major astrological aspects and how they will affect all of us in the upcoming month of April. We're gonna see these themes in the collective somewhere, whether in our own lives or in others or in the world in general. So let's do it. Woo! I don't know about you guys, but that was one hell of a Pisces season. This last month, this last month was a lot, okay? That was like Pisces season to the freaking max. So if you were ever curious about Pisces energy, the last like 4 weeks, that was Pisces energy. I don't know about you, but I got my ass handed to me and spanked like no other. The last month, like, it has been rough. Okay, I've been stripped raw, vulnerable. I am squeaky clean here, just in time for Aries season. So hopefully you had a better last few weeks than I did, because that was like brutal. Okay, so we just got done with Pisces season. The sun moves into Aries on March 20th. I'm not sure what day that you're watching this, and yes, this video is about April, but it's also a little bit about Aries season and what we've been through to get here, you know? So Pisces season that we're finally transitioning out of was about, like I said last month, letting go and old cycles and old patterns, our emotional worlds, you know, constantly moving emotions that need to be purged, emotions that need to be felt, emotions that need to be let go of, you know, all of these different things, and even emotions that need to be embraced, right? And it really brings up shit that we need to let go of. So if you've felt the last several weeks like you've been in this purge or this detox, or like you've been having to let go of things that you were attached to at one point, or that you've been overly emotional, or very foggy, or more tired than usual, more fatigued than usual, this is Pisces energy, because it is the last sign of the zodiac before we start the new zodiacal year in the sign of Aries. So this is where the year really effing starts here, is in the sign of Aries. Aries starts us off. The calendar is all screwed up. So yeah, the calendar is different, but the new zodiacal year actually starts in Aries. Okay, so Pisces, because it's the last sign, was about endings and was about letting things go and transcending the experience that you've been through for the past year, making sense of all of it, embracing it, but also letting go of what needs to be let go of. It's like a shedding, it's like a releasing before we start this new beginning, before we are reborn. Okay, so you could even think of it as like the transformative process in a lot of ways, where we are kind of dying and in a certain way, or something in our life is dying, in order to start something brand spanking new. And that is what Aries season is all about. That's what the sign of Aries is all about. It is about forward movement, momentum, new beginnings, taking that leap of faith, taking that action, having that spark back, having that desire or the will to do something, right? No matter what it is, you know, I mean, it could be a new relationship, a new job, cleaning your house, you know, it could be anything really. But this month we are going to start feeling a little bit more of that forward momentum as Mercury is finally done with its retrograde cycle. You know, all of the planets will be moving forward and not retrograding until the end of April, when Pluto goes retrograde. So this is the part of the year where things are becoming alive again, right? It's spring, things are blooming, there is life, like, and this is why Aries deals with new beginnings, right? Like, spring is happening, there's life now coming, and it's like a new a new beginning, a newborn, right? That Aries energy can be very action oriented. It can be very self oriented, which can be a good thing, you know, because now that we've released all of this stuff, what do we have left? Us, right? And so we have to learn how to be in our bodies. We have to learn how to be ourselves. We have to learn how to take action and be confident in our direction and be confident with our decisions. And this is where it starts here in Aries season. So those are a lot of the themes that you're going to start noticing as the sun moves into Aries tomorrow, which when I'm filming this, it's tomorrow on March 20th. And as other planets start moving into Aries over the next several weeks, we're going to start feeling that more action-packed Aries energy. Now, because it's a new beginning, there is a certain level of an experience that comes with that. We're doing something new. We're starting something new. We're motivated to do something new. We have a new desire, a new interest, whatever the case may be. So because of that newness, there's a certain level of inexperience. Now, I always like to bring up the Fool in the tarot when talking about Aries. Yes, I know a lot of people say it's associated with the Emperor, but I don't know if I quite agree with that. So, the Fool is not thinking about really anybody else. He's got his head kind of up, you know, he's not paying that much attention. And he's walking towards the edge of this cliff, even though the dog is barking at him, trying to get his attention, but he's kind of in his own little world, right? And there's a certain level of really like cool things that can come with this Fool. You're at a state of surrender, right? We just came out of Pisces, which was about surrendering and letting go. And then we're also at this new beginning, this edge, you know, this edge of something where we have to take that risk and move forward. There's not really like, oh, hold on, let me weigh out the pros and cons like Libra, or let me analyze this situation like Virgo. No, it's like, let me just do it, right? Like, let's just do it. There's a certain directness, if that's a word. There is a theme of being direct with Aries. There's a theme of just forward momentum. Now, like I said, because of that, there's some inexperience. So yes, you know, this can be great that he is so in his own world that he, you know, doesn't really listen to others. He doesn't pay attention to others all the time, and he is able to just move forward. You know what I mean? But there is also a downside to this where when he walks off that cliff, he's going to fall. Now, who knows how far the cliff is down? Who knows if you know, whatever. But with that inexperience comes a level of certain frustrations from time to time with the sign of Aries, right? And so this is what I a lot of the times associate with Aries is the Fool. But basically, there is a level of inexperience, like I said. So because everything's new, these new beginnings are happening, or you may be doing something new for the first time, there's a lot that you still have to learn about it. Now, with that can come frustrations or competition, right? There can be a certain level of immaturity to Aries, and I don't mean that to be like mean, you know, all the signs can be immature in some way, right? But there's a certain level of immaturity to Aries that can spark anger or frustration, since it is ruled by Mars, right? Which is why it's so forward thinking and like wants this forward momentum. And the reason that I'm talking about this so much is because we are going to see these themes over the next month or so. We are going to see all of these Aries themes somewhere in our life. So because of this, we could see a certain level of heatedness, passion, hot-headedness, kind of getting ahead of ourselves with action before actually thinking about things. But the good thing about this is Mars is in Gemini. Mars, Aries ruler, is in the sign of Gemini, really basically all throughout Aries season. So we can actually balance out that mental side with the action-oriented side. There is going to be this energy this month of new beginnings, but if you're watching this at the end of March, I do want to say this really quick. April starts off right after we have the Libra full moon at the very end of March on March 28th. Now, Libra is the opposite sign of Aries. So it seems to me that this is showing us that there is something that needs to be let go of with another person, a relationship, some kind of compromise, negotiation, something to do with somebody else or something else. Normally it's somebody else, whether it's, an actual relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a coworker, a marriage partner. So right before April hits, we have this Libra full moon, which is really, a full moon is about releasing, endings, letting go, peak moments. They are felt a lot more. They are more intense. It's kind of like an intense, energetic time and can bring up a lot of situations, sometimes conflicts, or just even releases, So with this Libra full moon opposite, of Aries, there is this moment happening right before April hits where we are letting go of something to do with another person, or ending something to do with another person, or possibly even mending something to do with another person, or even seeing the other side of something that happened maybe, or that started back in October, or that has been ongoing since October. So that is something that I want to say really quick, but this is preparing us. This Libra full moon is really showing us where we may need to compromise, or where we may need to let go, or where we may need to negotiate, or where we may need to somehow find the balance between being ourselves and other people. That is a way to think about it. But as April starts, finally getting into April actually, which, all the Aries stuff I was talking about is April, is a large part of April up until the 19th when the sun moves into Taurus. But the first few weeks of April, we're going to be seeing that Aries energy, the new beginnings, the forward momentum. Things are going to start looking up, I want to say, a little bit. There's going to be kind of more of like a fresh energy in the air, a new energy in the air that's going to feel like you're wanting to spring forward in some way, like you're wanting to go forward with something in some way. Now, there are some challenges though that we'll get to here in a minute. Around the 9th, we have Saturn trining the North Node. We're probably going to start noticing this though a few days before, maybe even a week before. Saturn in Aquarius, trining the North Node in Gemini. So we are going to be really feeling that energy. There's going to be something that we really want, or that we really desire, that we're wanting to bring into our lives, or that we are working very, very hard for. Now, you do want to be careful with this, that you are not overworking yourself or exhausting yourself. And Saturn trining the North Node, it's not going to be like a one-day thing. We're going to feel it for a week, maybe 2 weeks, or even longer. This is going to be something where we are really, really wanting to pump in some kind of work or effort to get somewhere, to do something. And that kind of seems to be a theme that keeps coming up with different transits we're having this month. There's definitely this energy of being up for the challenge this month and really overcoming challenges and obstacles this month, while also putting in more effort to something, putting, forward momentum, like I was saying. So on the 11th, we have an Aries new moon. I'm going to do a separate video on that, but basically, like I've said before, a new moon is kind of planting seeds for something new, a new start of something. So this Aries new moon is going to be the new start of something in your life to do with this Aries energy, a massive new beginning. So we'll be seeing that around that time. Also, Venus and Mercury will be in Aries a lot of this month as well. So we're definitely going to be seeing more of a fiery, passionate energy when it comes to our beauty, our money, our relationships, and how we're speaking. You do want to watch out for some arguments and fights and conflicts, because that can be a lot with that can happen a lot with Aries energy. Then on the 14th, Venus moves into her home sign of Taurus. She rules Taurus, so she's very comfortable here. She's coming home, she's kicking her shoes off, she's getting ready to go out. She's having a glass of wine, feeling all the feels in Taurus. So that may feel good to a lot of us, especially if you are a Taurus or if you're a Libra and you are Venus ruled. So we're definitely going to be feeling that Venusian kind of vibe. Once that happens, we're going to want things to look nice, to be nice. We're going to want to be comfortable. We're going to want to spend more quality time and more effort into things looking good and things feeling good, whether in our relationships, whether with our style, anything Venusian. Now on the 15th is where it starts getting from the 15th on is where it starts getting a little bit cray-cray. On the 15th, Mars trines Jupiter. Okay, so Mars is in Gemini trining Jupiter in Aquarius. Now, this could be really bomb, and this could also be really crazy at the same time, because Mars is very energetic, it's feisty, it's passionate, it's masculine, it is the god of war and strength and willpower. It can deal with conflict and fights and arguments and things like that. But Jupiter is the planet of expansion and knowledge and growth and higher perspectives and learning. So with these two together, there could definitely be a massive theme of learning around that 15th, the 15th of the month, around the middle of the month. We could definitely see a lot of advocating going on. We could see some groups centered around some kind of cause. We could see a lot of gathering. Now, interesting enough, on that day, the sun in Aries is squaring Pluto and Capricorn, which also brings in this massive theme of power dynamics, of really intense power dynamics, control, leadership. We could see something this day around this time with the government or certain leaders or authority figures. So watch out. There could also be something going on wanting justice around that time with Jupiter. Jupiter can be justice as well. So there could be some kind of push for justice. We could see something happening on social media because both of these planets are in air signs. Jupiter and Mars are both in air signs. So we could definitely see something happening on social media. So watch out for that time. Let me know what you notice if you're watching this a little bit in the future, or mark it down and let me know what you notice. That's going to be a very interesting time for sure. So then on the 19th, like I said, the Mercury and the Sun both move into the sign of Taurus, and Taurus season begins. And then on the 22nd, things start shaking up. And you may even feel it before the 22nd, possibly from the 15th onward or a few days before the 22nd. I mean, just somewhere around the 22nd mark towards the end of this month, it's going to get crazy. So Venus will conjunct Uranus. And this is where things start getting crazy, because after Venus conjuncts Uranus, Mercury will conjunct Uranus. Also, the Sun will eventually conjunct Uranus. So this is going to be wild. So Venus is home in Taurus and Uranus is there. Venus is going to come across Uranus first. Uranus is the game changer. It shakes things up. It is eccentricity. It also rules over the weather. It rules over individuality and rebellion, independence, standing on your own 2 feet and going against the grain. It's the weirdo. It's the outcast. Also the crazy scientist, you know what I mean? It's like genius to a certain extent as well. So with Venus, the planet of love, beauty, relationships, style, money, we could see these two themes combined in some way. So we could start seeing unique expressions of individuality and beauty, or with women, Venus rules over women. We could also see stuff coming up about certain beauty standards. We could see new trends happening. We could also see unique or eccentric events happening with money, or even somewhat electronic money, so like maybe crypto or something like that. There could be something going on around then with that. Now, the interesting thing about this is also Venus is coming into a square with Saturn as she's conjunct Uranus. So it seems to me like with Venus and Mercury crossing over Uranus, we may want to take some kind of risk or do something eccentric, different, out of the box, weird, abnormal, against the grain, rebel in some kind of way even. But then we may get hit with the Saturnian flavor of no, or have some kind of consequence, or have some kind of struggle or some kind of issue. So whatever kind of happens around that time, there is going to be some kind of backlash or some kind of hammering down of sorts. So you want to keep that in mind for this time. If you start feeling like you want to go wild or you want to do something very eccentric and different, that's fine. Make sure you're doing it in a planned way. I know that kind of takes the fun and excitement out of it, but make sure you're doing it in kind of a way that is where you know all the facts, you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing, you know, where you've really kind of planned it all out because of Saturn, okay? On the 23rd, Mars moves into the sign of Cancer. So not very fun. You know, like I said before, Mars is energetic, it is passionate, it is masculine, it wants to move and go, and it's action oriented. And Cancer is ruled by the moon. It's super emotional, right? Like it is nurturing and homey, just very much like the opposite of Mars in a lot of ways, but it's not like, it's not astrologically the opposite of Mars, but a lot of the things that they represent are just two whole different worlds, you know? And also Mars is in fall in Cancer, so which means that it does not like being in Cancer. It doesn't have its same abilities, its same drive, its same passion that it's supposed to have, and it has to kind of play by Cancer's rules. So Cancer energy waters down the fiery Mars, therefore we may be feeling less motivated. Unfortunately, we may be feeling more tired, or we may have more emotional outbursts, we may be more moody, we may be having a lot of frustration or annoyance with our family. We may have some frustrations or some challenges coming up in the home life or with our emotions. You know, we may be feeling a little bit more insecure, or we may be acting out of emotions. You know, we may be too overly emotional, you know, so you do want to watch out for that. You know, Mars won't move out of Cancer until maybe even June, actually. I'll put the date when it moves out of Cancer on the screen, but it's going to be in there for a while. So just know around that time that people are taking their shit out on you. It's probably not personal. It's personal to them, but it's not personal to you. Like, it's not you, it's them, basically. Or if you're doing that, make sure you're watching for that, because it's going to be really easy to get amped up with your emotions, you know, because that fiery, angry, passionate energy is coming out through your feelings, you know what I mean? So that's what you want to watch out for. On the 26th, we have a crazy ass Scorpio full moon, and coincidentally, Pluto goes retrograde the day after. So with the Scorpio full moon, this is going to be crazy. I'm going to do a separate video about this as well, but the sun is going to be coming into a conjunction with Uranus. It's basically almost forming a conjunction with Uranus that day, and so that's going to be a shaky time where there's going to be a lot of transformation, change, and radical shifts happening that we'll talk about then. So anyway, so that is basically it for April and Aries season. Hopefully you got something from this video. Also, really quick, the card that we have for I pulled a card for Aries season or April, and the card that we got was the Three of Wands, which is interesting. So I feel like what this is saying, what I feel like this is intuitively telling us, is that a major theme that we're going to see is a look ahead, almost like a peek ahead into the future, into where we're going. The spark is lit and we are on this new journey. We are also kind of trying to figure out if we want to go forward, or how we want to go forward, more so I should say, and you know, where we are going, you know, and so we're getting a glimpse of where we are going, and we know there's going to be challenges, but Aries season can make it easier for us to accept those challenges, for us to overcome those challenges, and for us to figure out those challenges, especially while Mars is in Gemini, while it is Aries season. Mars doesn't move into Cancer until Taurus season starts, so that's probably a good thing. But yeah, so we are on the journey, we are looking ahead, we are leaving something behind. The back is turned, so it's kind of like we are turning our backs on the past, and we are moving forward. You know, we are not putting up with the past anymore. We are not dwelling on the past anymore. You know, this is completely like, you know, and he really doesn't have much, you know, like he's got his clothes, he's got maybe like a little sack here or something, but that's basically it. And he's going through this kind of opening, right? So it's kind of like, you know, we are going through a new stage, and we've left a lot of shit behind. And so this is where we start to see a glimpse into where we're going and what we're doing and what the future is going to look like, not only in our own lives, but also in the world. So keep that in mind. So anyways, hopefully you found this helpful in some way. Feel free to write down the dates if that would help you, so you know, because some of those dates are really important this month to watch out for. Let me know down below if you stayed this long and watched this until now. I really, really appreciate it if you did. And yeah, make sure to follow me on my other social medias, and I will see you guys in my other videos.